I have just seen something in the XRP chart that is leading me to take action right now. And in this video, I'll explain exactly what I'll be doing, where I'll be buying, and why I am buying at this level. And also, very importantly, where I think a good point to sell will be at. Ladies and gentlemen, right now something is happening to XRP that everybody needs to be made aware of, but it all kind of starts with a few weeks ago. We all know the infamous 2017 all-time high for XRP. It got to about $3.50 on $3.90 on a few other places, but generally about $3.60 or so is often called the all-time high. Now, a few weeks ago, the XRP price came extremely close to this level. And it's actually one of the scenarios we often talk about on the channel. It's basically where the all-time high just barely gets missed. It just barely does not get reached and has a healthy pullback, which is what we're seeing right now. One thing that remains quite strong though, and I think you can better see it on the other chart right here, is just how strong the initial impulse was the moment that XRP did decide to break out. You can see there was just no stopping this entire wave. The XRP price went absolutely astronomical in a very short amount of time because, well, essentially the demand was just that strong. There was a crazy amount of demand basically riding on XRP for the moment that it was able to break from this trend line or from this everlasting downtrend. But that is all for what happened recently, right? So it just more so explains why we had a beautiful pullback. Obviously, also Bitcoin didn't really help. Trump came in on the January 19th or something like that with his coin. Bitcoin topped, and since Bitcoin started to fall from there, many other coins have fallen. XRP is not that unique, but there's something right now. Anyway, when you take a look at this chart, this is the XRP daily chart. And by the way, guys, if you have not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press the like button on this video. I'm trying to get the video above 500 likes, but if we cross 1,000 likes, I'll give $50 away to somebody in the comment section. So all you got to do is just like and comment. That's it. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still looking for a crypto exchange to trade on, two of the ones we'll be talking about in this video are 𝗲𝘀 and 𝗬𝗂x. You can use them from anywhere in the world, and there are some big sign-up bonuses if you use the link down below. So taking a look at this chart, it basically comes back to a point I made earlier in the video of where is the impulsive move. We've seen a lot of conflict recently. I mean, the whole Trump situation is making everybody crazy, but if you think about it logically, the whole Trump situation with Europe, with China, it'll most likely resolve itself quite soon. But you'd expect that to cause all these massive sporadic moves, but really, when you start to take a look at the XRP price, it's been quite a long time without any crazy. I mean, there's been a few, right? Most likely this was maybe because of something lawsuit related. Can't 100% tell you guys for sure, but it's been a while since we've seen some of the crazier impulses or moves that we saw earlier in November. It's mostly just been a perfectly structured downtrend without any power, really. Because if you take a closer look, it's really just a gradual downwards movement. But the funny thing is, it's really, when you kind of zoom out, it's mostly actually just been sideways. And this is basically typical price action, what you see just before a crazy charge, just before a crazy, again, new impulse, new move. And I am right now expecting that most likely, as we draw closer and closer towards the end of this quote-unquote triangle here, that we're going to be seeing ourselves yet another move like similar to November of 2024. Just again, another massive impulse, and this could be ignited perhaps by Trump when they resolve some of the trading situations. It could be resolved by some XRP ETF. It could be resolved by a Bitcoin move, but we are getting closer and closer to a massive move happening for XRP. And here's the action that I'm taking. Yesterday, I told you guys, you know what? I'm just going to start buying a lot of XRP at these levels, and I made a new account to show you guys that even if you start buying at $2.08, most likely over a little bit of time, this is again over on the crypto exchange 𝗲𝘀, a link for that is down below. You can use it from anywhere in the world. If you're in the US or whatever, you might want to use a VPN. If you don't want to use any VPNs, just use 𝗬𝗂x, as you can use it from anywhere in the world. No KYC, nobody knows who you are. Just check it out. Link is down below. I use it every single day of my life. But yesterday I told you guys about my trade, right? We open this. It's just 3% of the profit. The problem is we open it with very, very little size. I right now will just kind of, if I show you here, double up a little bit because, even though the price is up slightly, It's just not fun with this little of an account. We're only $3 in the profit, even though we're up 2.5%, right? Because we only put $130 in. I'm going to quickly up the stakes a little bit by adding another, let's just put another $4,000 or so into it here. Obviously with a order. We already had a couple of orders open, but the point being, this is not going to do us any good, right? It's too little to really make any difference. And yesterday I thought, you know what? Maybe this is going to be a bit more relatable for people to copy over or follow along with the journey. If it's not financial advice, by the way, if the sizes are smaller. But then I thought, you know what? I'm not having any enjoyment at all if it's just a $130 trade. And it doesn't really show any confidence at all, right? But again, the account is only $5,000 and we might have to buy a few dips. So I can't go all in all at once. Anyway, as you can see right here, we upped it to a $5,000 trade from, I don't know what it was just now, like maybe a $1,300 trade or so. And again, this might take a little bit of time, but in some of the worst case scenarios, we might be seeing even another $1.80, maybe even in a really, really bad scenario, $1.60 move. But the thing is, we've got enough money in the account to buy the living crap out of that dip. Imagine us going back to $1.80. I can even right now already put an order in at, for example, $1.80 and a bit. Put some, let me quickly, I just dropped something. Let me quickly put some size in on that. Let's say, for example, 15K. This means we'll be opening up another, $15,000. So if we actually go back to $1.80, we buy there long, we just open it right there. And for example, we put another one of a similar size or maybe max it out, for example, at $1.60. Preferably, we'd have more money to buy back down to $1 or something of the sort. But again, our liquidation price right now is 7 cents. Even if we go to $1.60, I don't think our account is ruined. And in my case, I can just deposit some more money. I just want to get more and more into our trade right here. We just have to add some size. Why? Well, as you guys might know, I still have a, I think, $300,000 or $400,000 XRP trade open with a slightly higher average price. Why am I not adding there? Because a lot of people seem to have forgotten the longer term vision, which is if you've opened a trade, for example, with XRP at $2.50, something like that, it's a matter of time before we'll be in profit again, in my own opinion. But on the short term, the levels that we're at right now seem to be a pretty interesting turning point, or at least there's a few scenarios for us to go down, as I described yesterday. But I just keep reiterating from all these videos that I'm making, it's so worth it to just go crazy on these dips. $2.08 is not a dip. I'm just showing you that even if you just start at any point, soon enough, you'll most likely be able to flip this for a crazy amount of profit. I still stand by that. And that is exactly the example I'm making right here. Especially because of, if you zoom out a little bit more, you realize the impulse that we are about to head for. It's probably about to go get crazy, and I do not want to miss it. I prefer to get myself a slightly higher price than to miss this massive move, and I still do not expect this to be a break towards the downside, because think about it like this. If we're taking a look at the last top back in the 2021 cycle, it's about $2 or so per XRP, right? You remember that? The top that we made right there? Well, if we zoom out a bit and we're taking a look at the broader chart, what we're seeing right now is that liquidity has already been has already been siphoned up. We already made our bottom. There's really no signs we're going to break through this resistance turn support now. I mean, take into consideration, we've already had ourselves a 50% pullback from the local high. And it's only logical that after such an impulse and a proper correction, another impulse is likely to follow up, especially, all right, especially in this scenario, as the correction has been so gradual and also very calm. Take into consideration, ladies and gentlemen, we had a massive impulse upwards, calm descent. This is very different than we've ever seen for XRP, really. Every single time previously where we had a massive impulse, we had a massive downwards candle and massive destruction right after. These moves were not sustainable. We did not expect another massive rally to follow. You can see how crazy these candles to the downside have been back then. Right now, the descent has been completely different. It's been completely, or I should say, very gradual here, slowly but surely, with again a baseline, a very logical baseline still being kept. And at this point, I'm just telling you right now, straight up, I believe there's not that much time anymore left before a crazy, crazy spike is bound to happen. And I know many people will say, Dusty, you say this so often, that we're about to pump, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now that If we're taking into consideration the current price action and the current situation in the world, it's just too good an opportunity to let go, to let slide, or to think about too much, or to keep pushing forward. This, right now, in my opinion, is the time to act. And I've described in the video why, even if it's not the most optimal, perhaps you could optimize it slightly more in terms of the actual opens of your trades. I personally think that even if this is not perfectly optimal, it's still a fine place to start opening a position in, because I'd rather get myself a subpar price than miss out on this massive move which is bound to happen. And that's my point here. I am taking action right now, just adding on to my positions. I already made a short form video today explaining why I'm buying more XRP here just on spot as well, because I feel as if the opportunity cost of me not buying would be too great at this point. I realize it right now, especially when looking at this chart. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what I'll be doing. Make sure you press that like button, because if at 1,000 likes, I'll give away $50 to somebody in the comment section. So make sure you press that button if you haven't done it yet. And if you also want to trade on one of these platforms, again, this trade right here, I just opened over on Blowfin. You can see right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're already again in $15 worth of profit. This is not much, but realize we only put $500 in. So don't expect it to get too crazy right here unless we get another move towards the downside so we can open more in our position, right? Because you can see we've got more money coming in depending on how low the price can go. And I should actually put this up as well. Because here you can see I got about $2,000 that I'll buy if the price goes back down to $2. But I should actually increase that now that we've increased our total position size to buying at least like maybe $4,000 or $5,000 as well, to maybe double up the position at $2. Again, if I think about it honestly, I could probably go all in even at $2 and I'll most likely still be fine. But, you know, I'll not do that on this account. We'll try to keep it safe, keep it so that it's most likely just over a little bit of time going to be in a ton of profit. Because in the worst case, if we're in the worst case, go to $1, as long as we're not completely wrecked back then because we have some purchasing power, we've got some money to buy that dip. Yeah, this is going to be a very, very profitable endeavor. This is just my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, not financial advice. Again, claim yourself some bonuses. Some links are down below to either Blowfin or WeX. And we'll also do a trading competition very, very soon to give you guys a couple tens of thousands of dollars to hopefully win. Well, depending on how good you are at trading, I guess. But yeah, that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. See you guys again in another crypto video. Hopefully some related today. And let me know down below if you agree with my opinion here.